Welcome back to Kingdom Wars. Today I'll be looking at the military tutorials. So to get started, we're going to be looking at the commanding units tutorial. In this tutorial, thou hast been given one battalion of archers and a barracks. Ranged units shouldst always be accompanied by soldiers who can protect them. For this, we want to train a battalion of swordsmen to defend thy archers. To train new infantry, select the barracks and click the icon of the swordsman unit. This will train a new battalion in exchange for resources. Good work, my lord, but these swordsmen aren't ready to fight just yet. We will need to align them into a battle formation to make the most of their strengths. Formations will rearrange thy units into a defensive or offensive arrangement. Players should experiment with these different formations and set up their units before a battle to maximize their effectiveness. In the online kingdom mode, some formations may need to be researched from thy various military buildings before they can be used. Okay, I'm supposed to command them into a loose formation. There we go. Well done. Now let's assemble thy swordsmen and thy archers into a control group. Control groups allow select units to be brought up via hotkey, at which point they can easily be tasked together. For that reason, my lord, thou shouldst not task worker units together with thy soldiers. Left click to the left and above thy units and drag, box, blah blah blah. And then control 1, which is standard. Excellent, my lord. You can have up to 9 control groups formed with control and a number ranging from 1 to 9. These soldiers are almost ready for action, my lord, but let's put some defenses around these archers first. Each unit has different abilities available from its interface once that unit has been selected. The archer has a unique ability that will pitch defensive spikes all around the stationary unit. This ability is great for defense, but the spikes will need to be picked up before the unit can move again. Our scouts have spotted enemy goblins on the horizon. Now is the time to put thy new skills to the test, my lord. Fight off the invading goblins and blah blah blah. To task thy units to fight an enemy battalion, select the unit thou wish to command and right-click on the enemy unit. Well, you didn't give me time to do that now, did you? Can't zoom in anymore, so not going to be like Total War in that regard. Victory is thine. Thou art a most valiant leader. And look, thy swordsmen have gained a level. All other units than siege and worker units can level up through combat. Leveling up will reward that unit with skill points which thou mayest allocate to boost one of several stats such as attack, defense, stamina, damage, or the rate at which the unit heals. When selected, the units of the icons with allocable skill points will flash. Some points will be allocated as soon as possible to increase the unit's performance. Select thy swordsman, click on the new golden rank arrow. This will open up a sub-menu with the stats thou canst increase. Spend thy skill points on stats of thy own choosing. Let's increase health. Increase it again. Well done, thy men are looking stronger already. There is only one more thing we must do before we head on to our next task. Pick up the spikes around thy archers so that they may be mobile once more. To do this, select the archer, click the same button on the interface, toggle ability on and off. This must be, Done. Our scouts have spotted many enemy goblins on the horizon. Now is the time to put thy new skills to the test, my lord. Fight off the invading goblins to protect thy land. Not sure where these goblins are going to be coming from. Okay, they're coming from the front gate. Victory is thine. Thou art a most valiant leader. Right, so we completed that. That leaves only the siege mechanics tutorial, so let's start that. Really liking the landscapes. It's much improved from when I played it last 2 years ago. Greetings, my lord. Today we will test our luck when it comes to sieging a stronghold. Thou art lucky today that it will be just a small keep, but there are strongholds many times its size that thou canst be sure of that. But we haven't got any troops, have we now? See that building? That is thy siege workshop, and from it thou canst train all the siege weapons thou needest to bring down a gate or scale an enemy wall. So, let's start off by constructing a battering ram, shall we? Select the siege workshop, and from its interface, command the construction of a battering ram. There we go. See a lot of corpses littered about the ground there. Exhilarating, is it not? All that power at thy command. Let's put it to the test. Nearby stands an enemy keep with a palisade protecting the main gate. Now let's pull out that ram and break down that palisade gate. Thou knowest what to do, my lord. Just select the ram and task it to the enemy gate by right-clicking the gate. 'Tis slow, but powerful, and will surely get the job done. Now let's pull out that ram, and where's the ram? Right there it is. And break down that palisade gate. Right, it's just repeating what it said already before. Any defender worth their salt would easily be able to sally forth and destroy this lumbering ram with no troops to defend it. That was fast. Brilliant, my lord. The enemy isn't going to like this one bit, but we're not quite done yet, by any means, your grace. Belfries and escalades are capable of latching on to enemy walls to provide thy soldiers with access. They both do the same thing, but belfries are significantly harder to hack down and are much more expensive. So basically, siege towers. So take this belfry and task them to the enemy wall segments. Once they connect, command thy new swordsman to climb up the walls. Gonna move our siege towers into place. You know, it's just wanted to watch it clip through that wall. Not sure why we needed 3. These few swordsmen. Excellent, my lord. You've made it up to the walls. Now have thy men destroy the gate crank. Once destroyed from the inside, the gate will come crashing down, allowing thy units to pass through freely. Now have thy men destroy the gate crank. Once this, yeah, okay, it's repeating itself a bit there. Thou dost lead with an iron fist, my lord. But crushing a gate or scaling the walls isn't the only way in. Take these trebuchets, gifts from the king they are, and command them to fire at an enemy wall segment. Select thy trebuchet and attack the wall as thou wouldst any other unit by right-clicking on them. Okay. That's a lot of trebuchets. They have quite a bit of range, too. Ah, I could not have done it better myself, my lord, but let us try it against a defended stronghold for good measure, shall we? This time thou art on thy own, and thou art free to breach the walls any way thou dost desire. It is most important that thou dost not come back until thou hast slain the warlord who calls this keep his home. Only once thou hast slain the enemy lord will this keep fall to thy strength. May the great lake be with thee in this mighty endeavor. So it looks like we're going to have a full siege mission on our hands here. So I think the best approach would be from this wall over there. It's barely defended. To the walls. Well, he was a fool to come walking right over here, wasn't he? Thou hast overcome each hurdle with yes, etc. So that completes the sieging tutorial. So now with the tutorials out of the way, I'm going to enter my first city. Greetings, my lord. I pray the Great Lake was kind on your journey from Dagbar. The roads are still littered with renegade orcs and Menthorn bandits. Terrible times, if you ask me. Well then, first and foremost, welcome to thy new estate, my lord. Oh, the village folks are quite pleased to have such a noble knight as yourself leading us. And if I may introduce myself, I am some blah 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 loyal servant. Really all I needed to know. Ha, look at that. That's obnoxious. Characters may be conversed with by moving your hero near them and selecting them while a symbol is above their head. Some things require attention, my lord. Right, he wants us to recruit more peasants by building a house. Just stop talking. Ah, I can finally move around. So this is the land you'll be starting out with. It's pretty standard. And have some peasants here. And of course, soldiers. So let's start by building a house. And we can also build taverns, stables, blacksmith market, store. So there are a lot of options on what to build, and you probably have to prioritize depending upon what you need. And there will be plenty of quests. It appears that they still have that. So that is pretty much Kingdom Wars. It's the beginning of it. You get the basics of what the game is about. You can fight peasants, enemy rogue peasants that are around in your empire to gain experience and stuff. And once you do so, you can actually access the world map. Now I'm right here. You can see there are other areas around here. There are no other players around. These are all static locations, if I recall correctly. For example, right here is Dagbor, which we heard so much about and which we spent a lot of time in during the tutorial. So, might come back to this, but that's the basics of it. If you are interested in playing it, it is free to play on Steam currently. It came out a couple of years ago, but back then they were charging. It went free to play, and the most recent reviews are actually quite positive, as opposed to the overall reviews, which are only mixed. Now, there are not a lot of players currently playing this game. When I checked last, there were only 76, and each day's peak seems to be about 100. So, not going to be a whole lot of players, but then again, this game isn't all that much about player versus player combat, really. So thank you very much for watching, as always, and I hope to see you next time.